The 2015 Women's FIFA World Cup on Gender Discrimination by Carly Wilson. So what's the issue? The issue is that female World Cup athletes are being subjected to playing on artificial turf for a world-class tournament in which their male counterparts would never be forced to do, as seen in the latest tournament in Brazil where they got brand new playing fields on grass. So why is this interesting? People love watching sports. Soccer is the most watched sport worldwide, and it is a lifestyle in Europe. The 2012 Women's Olympic Final was the most watched sporting event of the entire Olympics. People such as Abby Wambach, Alex Morgan, Sydney Leroux, and Megan Rapinoe, only American listed even though there are other players from other countries that are included in this lawsuit, are household names to aspiring female soccer players and fans. On the left is Alex Morgan, in the middle is Abby Wambach, and on the right is Sydney Leroux. It's just some of the players that are in the process of this lawsuit. So what's the connection? Why would you care? The Federal International Football Association, better known as FIFA, claims there is equality between their men and women athletes, but playing conditions and treatments and of the artificial field does not display this, and it is not fair. FIFA is a corporation and business in itself, along with the Canadian Soccer Association, the CSA, which are the two major businesses that are involved in this situation. Equality is something the United States and other countries strive for, so FIFA and the CSA should follow the laws and regulations expected from the countries participating in the tournament, whether it be the host itself of Canada's laws, those participating in it, such as the United States, Spain, Italy, all the countries that care about their equality of their female athletes, or from their home base, in which is in Switzerland. Finally, people like to watch quality sporting events at the highest level possible. This discrimination of the fields and of the players hinders that ability, and the players therefore cannot play as well as they could on regular fields, and this lessens the audience enjoyment of the sport and the event itself. Should FIFA follow the suit of America? Why America? The United States' population prides itself on equality and opportunity since the beginnings, and are the majority of the players bringing the lawsuit against FIFA. Laws and amendments are in place in America for gender equality in the workplace and country. The 19th Amendment was given, and it is the Go Girl Amendment. It was one of the first steps for women to be equal and be seen equal under law with men. Title VII is a law in the workplace in which takes away gender discrimination along with other discriminations that are known as wrong. Title IX is a federal law for education and sporting and any federal association that involves men and women and that they have equal opportunity in the situations. Following suit of Switzerland. Why Switzerland? FIFA headquarters are located in Zurich, and its rules and regulations follow the laws of Switzerland. Switzerland has been attempting to close the gender gap in their country, just as other countries have. The Federal Office for Equality of Women and Men was established in 1988, and a law banning any form of discrimination, including at the workplace, which for these athletes is the soccer field, has been in force since 1996. Follow the suit of Canada. Why Canada? They are the host country for the World Cup, and the CSA are involved. Canada has laws in place to promote equality of genders in the workplace. 1982 Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms and the Canadian Human Rights Act protects women under laws from discrimination in any way, including in the workplace. So what's the issue? Gender discrimination should not be a thought in this day and age, yet it is an issue of focus in the 2015 Women's World Cup. Not only has there been a shift in legislation across the globe to make the workplace equal to both men and women, but also the mindset of society. Title VII, Title IX, the 19th Amendment, and all these other laws in place not only in America, but in other countries, are in place to better the workplace and to better the lives of these women and to keep equality in the globe. Results of the issue. Gender discrimination is an issue at hand because the female athletes are being forced to play on artificial turf. So how is this discrimination? Turf causes more injuries in a game, from rug burns to tears in muscles, tendons, ligaments, because of cleats getting stuck in the turf itself. It's harder on the joints of the athletes because the turf is placed on top of sand and concrete. It changes the game and lessens the quality, as opposed to the game being played on grass. The game's considered the most beautiful game because of not only the style of play, but where you play it. On turf, it's 10 degrees hotter, and therefore you're more prone to dehydration and heat-related issues. A FIFA match has never been played on turf, for good reasons as stated above. The men would never have to play on turf and were given brand new facilities and grass fields for the most recent World Cup in Brazil this summer. Here are some of the stadiums and the playing fields and the grass that the men were given. Not only is the grass high quality, cut and watered before every game, but the stadiums are built so that the sun does not get into the eyes of the players when they are in a match. On the other hand, the women, such as Sydney Leroux, here pictured and mentioned earlier, have to play on turf where you are prone to injury, and it results in less slide tackles because of injuries and other results. This is just one picture that displays what happens when playing on turf. So what does our Senate say? A handful of United States senators are backing the U.S. players and female athletes of the World Cup. They are doing so by writing letters, petitioning, and urging the FIFA president to explain his stance on the issue and to possibly change it. The letters address the risk of injury, and the FIFA itself has claimed that turf is bad playing positions. Points out that turf has never, nor is it planned to ever, be used in Men's World Cup, which is discrimination against women, and is urged for good faith agreements because they refused initially to do so and asked for mediation from the players. These are all just few things that these senators, both men and women, are trying to do to make this issue go away. Critics. They state that it is a clear violation of gender equality. Not only are the men and women athletes being treated differently, it is affecting the women in a negative way, with more injuries and poor play. It's not just a mental capacity here, it's a physical injury. There are not only laws in place in the United States, but elsewhere, in which equality and gender discrimination are key issues. Critics are saying that even though it's not in the United States and it's not in other countries, there are laws in place for those countries and for Canada where it's being hosted. The athletes have to come together and have asked FIFA to reconsider the turf option and have asked for mediation and good faith negotiations, but FIFA refuses. This makes FIFA look worse, for they are not willing to negotiate or communicate with the female athletes and their attorneys. My thoughts on the subject. Artificial turf causes injuries and poor playing standards, and at the highest level of soccer, this changes the quality of the game significantly. The Men's World Cup has never been played on turf and will never be, so the women should be given the same high standards as the men. Both the United States and other countries have laws and regulation in place to make the workplace, in this case the pitch, equal for men and women. It's not just something that we're pushing, every country pushes it, so FIFA should follow it. Because FIFA refuses to negotiate with the players, they will have to file a lawsuit against the corporation and tournament because they are violating their basic human rights. Canada, Switzerland, and the US all have cases and laws in which support the players, not FIFA. As a whole, FIFA should reconsider the fields in which the tournament will be played. At the very least, hear out the players in the form of mediation or negotiation. In conclusion, all in all, in 2015 Women's FIFA World Cup has an issue of gender discrimination because of the use of artificial turf in the tournaments. Because of these fields have and would never be played on by men, cause injuries and change the game, it is clear that they have lower standards for female athletes. Laws and regulations are present in the host country, the US, and headquarters of FIFA that prevent this issue. They are in violation of these laws and should negotiate with the players for different options for the 2015 World Cup so that equality can be seen between the men's and women's tournaments like they claim. And then citation.